What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. NATO has held its first dedicated talks on China's threat to Taiwan. That's according to a report from the Financial Times. The meeting was held in September, 3 months after NATO released a strategy that singled out China as a threat to the 30-member alliance. Sources close to the meeting say the U.S. has been urging allies, particularly in Europe, to focus more on China's threat to Taiwan. In recent years, Beijing has been ramping up military pressure against the island nation. Disposable plastic cups are now banned across Taipei. The policy started on Thursday, as Sandy Chi reports.
Buying a drink at a beverage shop and taking a quick sip. It's something you'll see people do every day across Taiwan. But starting December 1st, there's a slight change. Paper cups have replaced plastic ones. This is the start of Taiwan's ban on disposable cups, first taking effect in the capital, Taipei. Before the new policy, the city's Environmental Protection Department gave beverage stores a heads up.
所以我们就订定了6个月的一个缓冲期，进行逐店的一个宣导。
所以就是花很多时间去做沟通。
对，基本上我们起码做了3轮的宣导。
Many customers support this change.
我是觉得，如果这是环保的趋势的话，是势必要走啊，不然垃圾量这么多，你不可能每天都靠后面的处理来做这件事情。那实际上这是比较提升整个台湾素质的一个好的方向。
But the paper cups are less attractive for certain consumers.
人是视觉的那个感官，所以其实看到塑胶杯，知道里面的料，还是会对那个饮料的好奇心会存在。
Over 2,000 beverage stores in Taipei are now using paper cups. This is expected to save 76 million single-use plastic cups from going in the trash every year. By 2024, the government aims to have this policy in place at all chain beverage stores across the country. Alex Chen and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
December 1st is World AIDS Day. Taiwan used to have a strict ban on non-citizens with HIV entering or staying in the country, but a decision by Taiwan's Supreme Court this year has positioned the country as a leader in protecting the rights of people with HIV. Philip Brossard explains.
Taiwan prides itself as a bright spot for human rights in Asia, with high marks for press freedom, gender equality, and same-sex marriage. But when it comes to the rights of people with HIV/AIDS, the country has had a spotty record. Non-citizens with HIV/AIDS could be denied entry as recently as 2015, and HIV-positive university students risked expulsion. Today, there are no longer bans on people with HIV/AIDS, but activists are still fighting for greater acceptance. They're promoting an idea known as U equals U, or undetectable equals untransmittable. Doctors, researchers, and even the United Nations have reached a consensus on the idea of U equals U.
People living with HIV who are receiving stable antiretroviral therapy and had achieved a plasma virus load less than 200 copies, he or she will be qualified for being undetectable, according to the criteria used by the clinical studies.
U equals U is widely accepted by medical professionals, but courts in many countries, like Singapore and parts of the United States, continue to prosecute people with undetectable levels of HIV for failing to disclose their status to sexual partners. And until recently, in Taiwan, they could be sentenced to time in prison. Without legal protection, HIV-positive people with undetectable levels of virus could become targets for false accusations of deliberately infecting others. In the summer of 2022, a groundbreaking ruling by Taiwan's Supreme Court. It's a decision that gives legal support to U equals U, and it makes Taiwan a global leader in how it treats its people with HIV. But it took a legal battle that lasted 4 years to get there. The case began back in 2018, when a man sued his sexual partner for failing to disclose his HIV status before they were intimate. Prosecutors said the defendant hid his HIV status and engaged in risky sexual activity, violating Taiwanese law.
当时知道自己被提起告诉的时候，就非常的害怕嘛。我可能自己认定自己的行为并没有违反法律，可是没想到竟然可能会被判处非常严重的刑期。
The president of the Taiwan AIDS Society, Dr. Jianqing Hong, says the defendant met the criteria for having an undetectable HIV viral load. That means he could not have transmitted the virus to his sexual partner.
The defendant had been receiving regular and stable antiretroviral therapy at my clinic over the past probably more than 15 years. He was qualified for being undetectable.
But the lower court ruled against the defendant, sentencing him to nearly a year and a half in prison.
觉得很难过，也觉得很委屈。对，我认为我并没有从事危险性行为，可是却在地方法院的判决上，然后认定那你违法，而且甚至检方在上面的说明就觉得我是恶意要蓄意要传染给他人。
Taiwan's High Court overturned the lower court's ruling in 2020, based on expert testimony by Dr. Hong.
And I provide scientific evidence suggesting that any individual who had achieved undetectable virus load less than 200 copies, he or she will not transmit HIV to his or her sexual contact.
Although the High Court ruled in favor of the defendant, the case would continue to bounce around in the courts for another 2 years before the Supreme Court settled the issue in July of 2022.
我会觉得自己是被社会孤立的人群，然后是被社会排挤的一个个体吧，对。然后，所以其实就是没有办法接纳我的存在。最高法院这个判决下来，然后就觉得其实就是台湾的社会其实是有待进步。我觉得应该社会上也越来越多人慢慢的愿意去接受这个族群的人了。
The Supreme Court ruling makes Taiwan one of a handful of countries that protects people with undetectable levels of HIV from prosecution for failing to disclose their status to a sexual partner. But the fight is not yet over. Even today, the defendant is struggling with the stigma society puts on people with HIV.
尤其是在这2-3年要找工作的时候，雇主都会去查询个资，然后接着就很多工作可能本来面试都已经谈好了，可是到了最后要做 reference check 的时候，就会被拒绝。
So I think the next step is to remove any stigma or any discrimination against people living with HIV. They are like us, have any human rights to health care, to employment, and to any rights we are now enjoying.
HIV activists may have won in Taiwan's Supreme Court, but their case is still being tried in the court of public opinion. Howard Zhang and Philip Broussard for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images from Rockefeller Center in New York and the lighting of the Christmas tree to kick off the holiday season. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.